What's going on, guys? It's your boy Distant Coder, and today I have my good friend Joseph Rothschild, aka MBT, on for some elemental hero and other hero card rulings. So, Joseph, how are you feeling today? How confident are you that you know your hero rulings very well?
I'm feeling heroic. A lot of the way that you would win games with heroes in the past is knowing rulings your opponent doesn't, just because there are some cards that are kind of hard to understand. However, when you sent me the tweet earlier today, you said that you would be including some rulings about heroes that are a little lesser known, and I don't know any of those heroes. So if you ask me anything about elemental hero Nopsy, I literally cannot answer. I have no idea.
I mean, hey, if it makes you feel any better, I did have a question about Nosp, and it was removed. We actually removed it. We removed it for some harder stuff, though.
Oh, damn it. All right. Okay, well.
You're probably used to the number for the the amount of rulings that the guest I have on has to get right in order for the chat to win their channel points to be something about, 6 out of 8. Jesse had 7 out of 8. Most people get 5 out of 8 if the quiz is really hard. So in your case, you must score 5 out of 8 correct in order for the chat to win their channel points, because I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely think that this is probably the hardest quiz I have had up to date.
I'm gonna be happy if I get 1 right. Holy shit.
In all honesty,
right, yeah.
I told the chat, if he gets 4 out of 8 or 5 out of 8, that's where the deciding factor is gonna be. There's a couple hard ones, there's a couple of easier ones, but if you are ready, we can jump right into it with the very first question. So here is the board. You control a diamond dude, have mass change in hand, and the opponent has a face-up Macrocosmos. Here, while the Macrocosmos is on the field, are you allowed to activate the mass change here, attempting to send the diamond dude? And if so, how does the mass change resolve?
So I'll walk you through my thought process, but I'm pretty sure you are allowed to activate the mask change, and you will summon an elemental hero. Darklaw, I imagine you're going for. A masked hero, rather. Sending a card to the graveyard is not a cost of mask change, it's an effect. And also, after the card says, if it left the field by this effect, also means there are 2 independent things that happen, and all it has to do in order to summon the masked hero is leave the field. So even if it ends up in banished, I think that it's fine. So I'm going to say, yes, you can activate it, and it does summon Darklaw.
Final answer? Yep. Well, Joseph, you are correct for one so far. You are allowed to activate the mass change. In this case, the diamond dude gets banished, and you are allowed to summon the masked hero Darklaw. You even predicted what we were summoning here. I could have gone for Anki, but I'm not going to throw you for a loop just yet. We summoned the masked hero Darklaw. Specifically, the reason for this is because this is an also effect. It's actually an also after that effect, but when you have an also effect, A does not need to happen for B to happen, and vice versa. So basically, these 2 interactions are, they're not codependent when you have an also conjunction.
All right. The rest are this easy, right?
Probably not, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll figure something out. You ready?
Yeah.
We're gonna run it with question number 2. You enter the battle phase and you declare a direct attack with your masked hero Anki. During the damage step, your opponent activates the Forbidden Chalice, targeting your masked hero Anki. How does this attack continue, if at all, and if it does continue, how much damage would your opponent be taking here?
Wow, this is a hard one.
I know that a lot of people say that this is a Duel Links ruling. It is actually an interaction that was brought up in a lot of Duel Links chats, because these cards were actually played in Duel Links for quite a while, and I know that you are a Duel Links player, so I expect that you would know this answer.
Oh, I thought that you were picking it because it was different than it is in Duel Links.
Possibly. I mean, genuinely, it could be. Who knows?
The attack continues, and your opponent is going to take 3,200 points of damage here.
All right. Is that your final answer? Give me your thought process. Why is this the answer?
So Masked Hero Anki is a card that can attack directly as part of its effect. But if you activate Forbidden Chalice, negating the effect during the damage step, you can't redeclare an attack that's occurring during the damage step. So it will go to 32, and then the effect that halves the battle damage to an opponent's life points is also negated. This is how you would OTK people in Duel Links, because they had 4,000 life points, and it turns out like doming them for 9/10 of their life is pretty good.
So this is your final answer. The Anki will be able to still attack directly and will deal 32 points of damage?
Yes.
Joseph, congratulations on 2 for 2. The attack goes through, and the opponent does indeed take 3,200 points of damage. And the reason why is specifically what you outlined here. If you negate the attack of a monster, if you negate the effects of a monster that can attack directly during the damage step, regardless of them having monsters on the field or not, because you've already entered the damage step, the attack has already technically gone through at that point, so it does not stop the attack. As opposed to, had you used Forbidden Chalice on the attack declaration, a replay would have occurred with the Anki, and the Anki would not have the option to attack directly. It'll only be able to attack one of the opponent's monsters.
Like you said, because a set copy of Forbidden Chalice in the opponent's spell trap can fire on attack declaration and force the Anki to redeclare, usually it was the masked hero player jamming the Forbidden Chalice in order to kill their opponent.
I expected that you would get this correctly because I know that you are the greatest Duel Links player to have ever lived. But the next ruling questions will not be so kind. Are you ready for question number 3?
I'm prepared.
So, in this situation, you control Neos Kluger, your opponent controls Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, and you have Honest Neos in your hand. So the effect of Neos Kluger that matters here is that before damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that opponent's monster's attack. This is all you need to know about Neos Kluger. So here you enter the battle phase, and you declare an attack with the Neos Kluger on the Chaos Max. Before damage calculation, you use the effect of Neos Kluger to make your opponent take 4,000 points of damage. After that effect resolves, are you allowed to activate the Honest Neos that is in your hand?
Oh boy. I think I know this one, but
oh boy.
We'll see. I'm gonna say.
What's your thought?
I'm gonna
process
say yes.
Here? How well do you know the damage step?
Not fantastic, but I know there's multiple steps within the damage step, of which before damage calculation is one.
Okay.
Honest Neos is an effect that modifies attack and defense of monsters, so it can be activated during multiple steps of the damage step, including during damage calculation. So I'm pretty sure before damage calculation, you can activate Neos Kluger, and then during damage calculation, you can activate Honest Neos. But again, my damage step is a little fucking rusty, so we'll see.
Yeah, so specifically what this question is asking you whether or not you're allowed to activate the Honest Neos still before damage calculation, but after Neos Kluger has resolved its effect. So basically this question is asking, are you allowed to create a second chain still before damage calculation?
All right, answer to that one's no.
Final answer?
I know at some point you weren't allowed to do second chain. I'm going to say no, yeah.
It's funny because for the first answer you gave me was right for the wrong reason, and now you've given me an incorrect answer. You actually are allowed to activate the Honest Neos. The reason why, and I'm going to break down the damage step real quick for you guys, real simply. This whole idea that a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh players have that you can only activate one chain during each of the sub-steps of the damage step is actually not correct. You are only allowed, basically what this means is something like Neos Kluger, effects that specifically activate before damage calculation, effects that activate on a specific sub-step of the damage step, they must all be on the first chain of that substep. But something like Honest Neos, which is just a general, can be activated during the damage step, you are allowed to create a second chain during that substep using the Honest Neos. So here, after the Neos Kluger has inflicted the burn damage to the opponent, on resolution of that, you don't immediately move to perform damage calculation. You can still use the Honesty Neos before damage calc, and then once you enter perform damage calculation, effects that do directly modify stats can no longer be used.
This is wild. So if Honesty Neos said, before damage calculation, fire this bad boy off, you wouldn't be able to use it?
You would specifically need to, chain it to the Neos Kluger. You would not be able to use it after the Neos Kluger's effect has resolved.
All right, well, I got that one wrong twice, but I hope it only counts as one.
Well, yeah, no, this is one incorrect. You're currently 2 for 3. Welcome to the damage step, Joseph. It is what it is. We are going to be moving on to question number 4. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
So in this situation, you control a Destiny Hero Plasma. During your standby phase, your opponent is going to activate the Sky Striker Mecha Hornet drones in order to summon a Sky Striker Ace token to their field. With 3 spells in the graveyard, mind you, which is very important. After this, you activate the effect of Destiny Hero Plasma in order to equip your opponent's token to your Destiny Hero Plasma. At this point, what is the attack of the Destiny Hero Plasma? How much attack does it gain?
So it doesn't matter because you've won the game. Your opponent's out of resources. I think that's
True.
Really all I need to...
I mean, hey, yeah, I can't argue that point.
Wow,
what are you thinking
that
here?
is very strange. So I was going to say 750
Okay.
because I'm dumb. But then I noticed there weren't 750 counters on that token, which is usually how people denote it.
True.
The thing that's screwing me up here is Destiny Hero Plasma doesn't gain the attack of the monster that's on it. It gains half of the original attack. And Hornet Drones doesn't say that card's original attack becomes 1500. It says the 0 attack token's attack and defense become 1500. The word that's screwing me up here is instead, because
Ooh.
that seems to imply that it would be 1500 instead of 0. And if that's the case, then I would say that it's gaining 750. So
Gosh, I should have put this on the Sky Striker quiz for Gage. God damn.
Oh, man. I am going to say that instead, this is just a shot in the dark, and if I was judging an event, I would literally just be like, I'm not going to answer this. Let me go get the head.
Well, here you are the head judge, so you need to make a call.
Oh, well, then it doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong, does it?
True.
I'm going to rule in favor of the hero player. I'm going to say that instead here means that the original attack is 1500, and the Destiny Hero Plasma is going to gain half of that, which is 750.
Math.
Final
Is that
answer.
your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, Joseph, you are incorrect. The Plasma will actually gain 0 attack. Now, this, I decided to throw you for a little bit of a loop with the tokens, specifically because you get a lot of these weird interactions with the tokens and with monsters that when they equip, they gain attack, something like Thousand Eyes Restrict, something like Plasma. What's very important to know is that it'll always gain equal to whatever the original attack of the token is. In the case of any token, the original attack, unless otherwise stated, is always going to be what is in parentheses here. Because when you talk about original attack, you're most likely always talking about the printed attack value on the card. So in this case, say you were to summon like a Nibiru token, its original attack is question mark, so it would be treated as 0 on the field. The Plasma wouldn't gain anything. But if you were to summon, for example, one of the tokens that are summoned via the effect of Lair of Darkness, those tokens have 1000 attack, and in the parentheses are printed as having 1000 original attack, so in that case, the Plasma would have gained 500. In the case of the Hornet Drones, its attack and defense become 15, but its original attack do still remain 0, so in this case, the Plasma does not gain any attack.
It's so interesting, because I would expect if that's the case, there would just be a period after 1500.
Yeah.
Why is instead on this? Specifically to fuck me over right now. I know what you're up to, Konami.
They were like, Joseph is going to be on this coder quiz. We don't like either of them, so we're just going to make it really complicated on these guys.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll finish strong. Don't worry.
All right. Currently 2 for 4. If you get all 4 following questions correctly, you would be beating out the one and only Triff Gaming. Question number 5. Elemental Hero Flame Wingman is currently on the field, and your opponent controls the Prime Monarch. The effect of Prime Monarch does not matter. All that matters is that the Prime Monarch has 1000 attack points here. If you enter the battle phase with your Flame Wingman and attack into your opponent's Prime Monarch, destroying it by battle, after that battle, how much damage is your opponent going to be taking via the effect of Flame Wingman, or can you not activate the effect of Flame Wingman in the first place?
Shit. So you're asking me if I can activate the effect of Flame Wingman.
Yes.
If Flame Wingman will deal damage, and how much damage it will deal.
That is the questions.
Okay, so I am pretty confident about the back part of this. I don't think you will be taking any damage. The monster does not have attack in the graveyard. So they can't take damage equal to the attack of that monster. I think the only question for me is if you can activate the effect. And this is a weird one, because
What do you feel the reason would be why you would or wouldn't be able to activate the card in the first place? The effect, I should say.
Okay, so the effect is mandatory, which screws some stuff up. It says when it destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard. It's not really sending a monster. It's not a monster when it hits the graveyard. And I think the it here means that it's the same monster, and I don't think it's a monster any longer when it's in the graveyard. Oh, this one sucks. Oh, man. Okay.
Well, it's very interesting to hear a thought process about this because my chat seems to be very 50-50 on the answer.
All right, so I'm gonna say the effect does activate, and you take no damage via Flame Wingman's effect.
Final answer?
Yes.
Joseph, I am disappointed. The answer is actually that the Prime Monarch that is sent to the graveyard is not treated as having been sent. A monster has not been sent to the opponent's graveyard. It is a trap card once it hits the grave. So at this point, I should say, it is not able to activate, and the Flame Wingman will not be able to activate to inflict any damage to the opponent. So unfortunately, that is an incorrect answer. The Flame Wingman cannot activate.
You're telling me I walked through the entire thought process, outlined that exact theory,
and then changed your mind.
No. Oh my god. Okay,
You're
okay.
like, I think this is correct. I think I'm going the right way. I feel as though this is correct, but I'm going to say the opposite of what I'm thinking. The brainworms took over, didn't they?
They really did. They have the reins at this point. All right, we're what? 2 and 3?
Two for 5 right now. You have 3 more.
Christ.
You need 2 more to tie up with Sam, and if you get all 3 right, you pass Farfa because he ended with a 4.5 out of 8. So if you get the next 3 correct, you can say that you were better than Farfa for the rest of your life.
Oh, this is important, yeah.
So here it is your opponent's turn, and your opponent is going to normal summon a Bean Soldier, and you're going to be like, damn, that's scary. I'm going to activate Destroy Phoenix Enforcer to destroy itself and the opponent's Bean Soldier. At this point, you activate the graveyard effect of the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer so that during the next standby phase, it'll be able to summon a Destiny Hero monster from the graveyard. At this point, your opponent is going to set a Solemn Judgment from their hand and are going to pass turn back to you. During your standby phase, when you special summon back your Destiny Hero, Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, is your opponent legally allowed to activate Solemn Judgment to negate the summon of the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer?
This is really important because I really want that Judgment on my side of the field. Can you hover Destroy Phoenix Enforcer real quick?
Yes, sir. There it is.
Nah, it's too late. We're just resolving an effect that's already activated.
So you're saying you are not allowed to activate the Solemn Judgment to negate the summon?
Yep, final answer.
Final answer. You are correct, Joseph. You indeed are not allowed to activate the Solemn Judgment to negate the summon of the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer here. And the actual reason for this, to the best of my knowledge, is simply because Konami said so.
Oh, because Destroy Phoenix Enforcer does start a chain.
Well, the thing is, when it summons itself back, it doesn't start a chain at that point. So it is a summon that is occurring outside of a chain resolving. But with some previous rulings that we have on the database, we have previous rulings from a couple years back, mostly with Spellbook of Judgment, that basically say anything that is a delayed summon from an already resolved effect cannot be negated by something like Solemn Judgment, with the only exception being one of those effects that summons immediately after this card resolves, so something like IP Masquerena.
Are you excited to know why I was just firing on all cylinders for this one?
I want to know. Please tell me.
It's because I know that you can't Solemn Warning a monster that has been summoned off of Last Will.
Oh my god, Last Will is your basis for this?
During a months-long period where we were trying to make a problem-solving card text version of Last Will, we had to figure out if you could Ash and or Solemn it. And that's what I'm pulling from. It's a lingering effect that allows you to perform a summon later.
Yeah, that's actually so hilarious. I did not think that was where you would have your basis for that. Are you ready for question number 7?
I'm ready.
On the field, you currently control Elemental Hero Mudball Man.
I knew he would be here. I knew he would be here.
My man Mudball Man is currently on the field. You have a set Forbidden Chalice, and your opponent, your opponent happens to have a set Infinite Impermanence. At this point, they activate the Infinite Impermanence, targeting your Elemental Hero Mudball Man. Is this a legal activation? And if so, will Infinite Impermanence negate Mudball Man's effect? And in turn, will it negate all the spells and traps that are activated in that card's column?
Are you ready, chat? Not only did I know Mudball Man was going to come up, I knew that Coder was going to ask me if you can infip Mudball Man.
Wow,
I knew
you
it!
were ready. Okay, let's see if you know the answer, though.
Yeah, so that's maybe a different answer.
Possibly.
I was going over it last night as I was falling asleep. I was like, okay, yeah. I think this is how it works. I'll just check in the morning. And then I didn't.
Wow.
So Mudball Man is weird for a couple of reasons. The first
Please
is
explain.
that he's straight up unplayable. One of the worst hero fusions in the history of time. The second reason is that he belongs to a subclass of cards that I really, really care about. That's effect monsters that do not have an effect. One of them is Mudball Man. I believe Cyber Dragon is one as well.
Cyber Dragon has an unclassified effect, but sure.
This text on Mudball Man is not effect text. It is a condition, which says it cannot be special summoned by other ways. It has to be fusion summoned. However, it does say effect monster on the card, right? Like, they wouldn't put effect on there if it wasn't an effect monster. And just like you can't unexpected die for Cyber Harpy Lady, you know, Mudball Man is still an effect monster. So here's what I'm going to say. I think the infinite impermanence activation is legal. It negates its effects until the end of the turn. Then, if this card was set before activation and then is on the field for resolution, we negate all other spell traps in this column. However, the conjunction here is a conditional then, which means that if the monster's effects are not negated, then everything in the column isn't negated either. Only thing that is giving me pause is I don't know if you're allowed to activate an infinite impermanence targeting a monster that doesn't have effects, because I don't think it would do anything.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know if you're allowed to just straight up activate effects that do nothing. I am going to go with my gut because I'm extremely stupid. Infinite impermanence activation is legal. Mudball Man does not have any effects that have been negated. And as a result, the card in your column is still live.
Final answer?
Final answer.
How confident are you about this one?
50-50.
Joseph, you are correct! The infinite impermanence. The imperm can legally be activated on the elemental hero Mudball Man. In this situation, because the Mudball Man does not actually have any effects that can be negated here because it doesn't actually have any effects, the infinite impermanence does not successfully negate the effects of elemental hero Mudball Man. Effectively, for the GX players that play on those lobbies, you know, no XCs, no links, no synchros, and all that stuff on YGO Pro. Basically, what that means is you don't put that little red X on the monster, and because imperm doesn't put the little red X on the monster, it will not negate these spells and traps that are currently in its column. So in this situation, you are correct. Imperm is legal to be activated, but it will not negate the spells and traps in its column.
Chat, if you were wondering, if you Forbidden Chalice the elemental hero Mudball Man, then you're allowed to special summon it without fusion summoning. That's an official ruling.
Official Joseph ruling. Are you ready for the next question?
I'm ready.
So here, you control Elemental Hero, Destiny Hero Diamond Dude, Elemental Hero Mudball Man, and Elemental Hero Clayman. Weird. These are the fusion materials to make Mudball Man. Very odd. I guess we're just gonna use Diamond Dude effect, and wow, by some miracle, we mill Ultra Polymerization off the top of our deck.
I don't. What the heck is this card?
You'll be able to read it in just a moment. So,
okay. You're
passing turn to the opponent. Your opponent is going to draw a dead card and pass right back to you. During your turn, you decide to use the effect of Ultra Polymerization, which you are using via your Diamond Dude. Ultra Poly reads, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using 2 monsters you control as fusion material. So here you're going to be applying that effect of the Ultra Polymerization in order to fusion summon using your Elemental Hero Mudball Man and your Clayman to make the Elemental Hero Mudball Man. At this point, are you allowed to use the second effect in the graveyard of Ultra Poly that says you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one fusion monster that was fusion summoned with this card's effect. Special summon all the fusion materials used for its fusion summon from the graveyard, but change their attack and defense to 0. Also, they have their effects negated.
So, a couple of questions. First, I think you can go into absolute 0 with these 2 monsters, right?
Possibly. I wouldn't know. I don't actually know the materials for Absolute 0.
I feel like Mudball Man's the right choice anyway. I'm trying to pull on like Verte Anaconda rulings, but Diamond Dude is just a different card.
Yeah, Diamond Dude and Verte are very much worded differently.
So I thought there were a ton of free outs for me, right? I thought that Diamond Dude said... so Verte Anaconda notably would not be able to do this because the effect of Verte Anaconda becomes the effect of ultra polymerization. So you would not be able to activate the second part of the effect because it wasn't fusion summoned with this card's effect. Wingman Dude has a weird bit of text on it. If you hover it real quick, it says, during the main phase of your next turn, you can activate the effect of that spell in your graveyard. I think that spell here refers to super polymerization, or ultra polymerization.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that you are activating ultra polymerization's effect to perform a fusion summon. And because you have activated the effect of the ultra polymerization that is in graveyard in order to perform a fusion summon, I feel like you should be able to. This isn't going to be some garbage like, because banishing is part of the cost, it's no longer that spell in graveyard. No, you would activate it while it's in graveyard. You would activate it while it's in graveyard. I'm going to say no because Clayman doesn't have an effect. No, that would be the worst answer. I am going to say, I can't believe it all comes down to this.
Down to this.
I think that you are able to activate ultra polymerization in order to make elemental hero Mudball Bungler, and separately activate the effect of ultra polymerization, special summoning the Clayman and the Bubble Man from the grave.
Can I get a final answer from you, Joseph?
Final answer.
All right, let's let the replay play out, and we will see if you are correct. So the question is, after that, can you activate the second effect of ultra polymerization that special summons fusion material monsters used for the fusion summon? And the answer is yes, you are allowed to activate the grave effect of ultra poly, summoning back the Clayman and the Bubble Man. Congratulations on a score of 5 out of 8. You surpass Team Samurai X1, you surpass Farfa, and you have placed yourself right there at average about the knowledge of elemental hero and hero rulings. How do you feel about this quiz, my friend? Was it a little bit harder than you expected?
Yes, it was! First off, I'd like to say, absolutely, go to hell, Flame Wingman, stupid-ass card. I hope they don't print you in the GX Battle City box. I hope you never get another printing, and people have to play the UDE fakes till the end of time. Second, I'd like to give a quick shout-out to my boy, Mudball Man, greatest elemental hero of all time.
Appeared in 2 questions, too. It's proof that he's just the best.
Wow, this was fun. This was also, my anus is all the way clenched. Just fused together at this point.
So anyways, guys, for all those YouTube watchers, I hope you guys learned something new, and I hope you guys enjoyed the quiz. Big congrats on MBT for scoring 5 out of 8 and securing a spot right above Farfa and above Team Samurai X1. I think this was one of the harder quizzes that I put out there, so big congrats to him for scoring a really, really good score. I think 5 out of 8 on this quiz is really impressive, so hats off to you, Joseph. To any other Yu-Gi tubers or pro Yu-Gi-Oh players that want to be on this series, I'm extending an invitation to you guys. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to be on. That is how Joseph, he slid into the DMs and he said, Coder, I want to do heroes. So anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys. Peace!